Hello, I am Tanu Keshri, and with us today we have a very esteemed guest, Mr. Rithvik Singh.
Hi.
Hello sir. He's a poet and the author of best-selling novels I Don't Love You Anymore and Warmth. And he's also a social media influencer with a handle on Instagram, Words of Rithvik. Hello sir, we welcome you sir.
Thank you. Hi.
So it's lovely to meet you.
Likewise.
So my first question to you would be, what inspired you to start writing?
I think everybody has a way of processing their emotions, and for me it has always been writing, because I can't paint. There are certain people who can paint, certain people who can sing, but I can't do any of that, so I just choose writing to process things, basically. I started that when I was in the 4th standard. I started publishing my work when I was 15, and I've been doing that ever since.
So what inspired you to start writing poetry?
Poetry found me very late, because when you are young, you just can't understand stanzas and metaphors and similes and all of that. But over time, so I did a degree in English literature from Hansraj College. So I think that equipped me in a way to write things other than prose. But I still believe that my prose is stronger than my poetry. But poetry-wise, I think, yeah, it was college that changed things for me.
So, sir, you have written poems and prose also. So, what has been one of your favorite poem or story that you have written?
Okay, you're putting me on the spot here. But, okay, so there's no favorite. But so I'll tell you a prose I wrote. Okay, it's very powerful. So it says, I went to a store and a signboard said, if you break something, consider it yours. Things have a way of belonging to you even after you break them. Just like I belong to you despite everything.
Oh my God, that touches the heart. So, what was the story behind this prose?
See, the thing is, pain and grief are emotions that everybody goes through in their life, right? It's not it's universal. It's not unique to only me or to certain authors. So I strongly believe that it can be any type of pain, but when you write it into prose or poetry, it can be fictional sometimes. So I think this one came out of I actually saw a signboard and I started thinking that, oh, how do I link it to something more personal? So I linked it to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you are also a social media content creator. So, how do you handle writing and handling a social media page together?
I think you can't write in India without having a social media presence. So I think they both go hand in hand, because the more people will listen to me on social media, the more people are likely to read my work and to pick up my books and actually go deeper. Because if people don't know you, if I don't know you and you write something, I may not care to read it unless it's a very beautiful cover or a big brand or a publisher. I won't care to read it. But then when people know me that, oh, Rithvik has been showing up since years and we have been watching his videos and now he's writing something, so let's read it. So I think that helps content creation helps the publishing process and everything else.
So now that we're talking about social media, so trolling is a big part of that. So how do you handle the trolls and the critics of
I
social
give it
media?
back. I don't listen to people. Like there are certain people who tell you, oh, choose kindness, be very nice. I also do that, but then there's a limit to kindness. Okay, you are not stupid. Nobody should no Tom, Dick or Harry should just come and say anything to you, and you should not let it slide. If somebody is saying something to you, you should give it right back so that you can also sleep peacefully. Otherwise, what will happen is you forgive them, but you can't forgive yourself for going through all of that. Right, and you just start thinking that, oh, why is this person who I don't even know is anonymously commenting under my profile? If you comment anonymously, I'll reply to you from my public profile, because I have the audacity to do that. So yeah.
And so on social media, how successful can one person be while working on social media? How can we measure the success when we are on social media? Is it worth?
How many people are meeting you in person? If you are going out, how many people recognize you? If there are like 10 people in a room, do even 2 people know you? If even 2 people know you, that means that you are doing something great and people are actually recognizing you. Because for a video to reach like 8 million people, that's okay, normal. But do 80 lakh people actually remember your face? No. Because it's an 8-second video, we have goldfish attention spans, we see people all the time. And it's impossible to remember everybody's face. But if you are doing something that makes people remember you, that means you're doing something great, and that means you are successful, no matter what the numbers say. Because there are certain people who have less than 100k followers, but they have more influence than me, and I accept that because they are creating something that is very unique and very special and very different. So it all depends on what value you are adding to the world.
Okay, so that's a great answer. So when I talk about your work, then we have to talk about love, and when we talk about love, we have to talk about heartbreak. And heartbreak हर इंसान की life में it happens many times.
Yeah.
So what is a healthy way to deal with it?
I think you can't sit with the pain, okay? Because if somebody breaks your heart and you are just sitting there constantly trying to text them, reach out to them, unblock, block, hot and cold, it doesn't work, because the only way to deal with heartbreak is detachment. And how does that happen? Out of sight, out of mind. You need to remove access. They should not be able to text you, call you, meet you, ever. Delete them, okay? And if you are in the same college or anything, avoid going to college. Just don't meet them. I'm telling you, the worst thing you can do to yourself is staying in touch. I have stayed in touch with people who broke my heart for months, okay? And they will keep breaking your heart till the point you are not cutting them off. You will keep gaslighting yourself into believing that no, I don't have to block them, I'm better than this. Don't be better than that. Be that person who removes access, because your time, your energy is very precious. You just don't have to give it to people who don't mind seeing you in pain. Imagine how sad is that someone is very okay with seeing you in pain, they're okay with hurting you, and you still are texting them, and you are like, oh, let's make it work. Why do you want to make it work? They're not the last people on the earth. There are too many people you're yet to meet, right? So the best way to process heartbreak is to just remove them and go in your bad bitch era. That's what it is.
So when I'm talking about your work, then what has been the most rewarding moment of your career so far?
The most rewarding moment of my career was when 20 publishers rejected me. I don't love you anymore. And then 20 publishers came back to me to publish my work when it started hitting the charts. And as a self-published author, I'm one of the 0.1% of the people whose book was #1 everywhere. Amazon, Flipkart, Nielsen starts everywhere. So, and for a month, I was the highest selling author in the entire country for an entire month. No other book was selling more than mine.
Wow.
Not so subtle flex, and it doesn't come out modest at all. Yeah.
So, but it's worth it to flex now. You worked hard for it.
Yeah. And the thing is, when nobody's supporting you through it, right? Nobody, either not your friends or family, but people from the industry, when they don't believe in you, and when you do something on your own, and then they start believing in you, so that gives you a lot of confidence, because you feel like, oh, see, I proved you wrong.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, any poem of yours that you would like to share with the audience?
I don't have my book. I don't remember.
That's all right, sir. So, any words you want to share with the aspiring authors?
Yeah, I think if you are writing, you need to believe in yourself, because publishers will tell you that you are not worth it. But as long as even ask your friends who are not those kind of people who will please you. There are certain friends who will be brutally honest with you that, hey, you are ruining your life, do something else, right? Ask people for genuine feedback. Plus know that you are doing something good and right, because if you are writing trash, somewhere that, see, what I'm writing is not good enough, right? So first try to master the craft in a way that you are constantly trying to improve yourself to a point where you have confidence. Even if 10 people reject you, you know that I'm not the problem, you are. So I think that is the biggest advice I can give to people.
So one another thing, when a person writes, they usually face a creative block. So how to deal with that writer's block?
If you want something bad enough, okay, if you want to get a book out, if you want an article to be out, you will do it. If you can postpone it, I strongly believe creative block is a thing we create in our head, okay? It's not real, never happened with me. You can make me sit right now and write, I'll write. Okay, I strongly believe deadlines play a big role. Ask your mom to charge you. Ask your mom to tell you that, okay, tell her that I'll clean the entire house if I don't write 10 poems by the end of the day. You'll write 20. because you just have that incentive. What happens is when you don't have an incentive, right? Ki, I don't want to publish. I'm not going anywhere. I just have to write any time. So when there is no incentive, no deadline, no pressure, you can't write. And sometimes poetry will come to you just like that on a random afternoon, okay, when you're just sitting there. But then on most days, if you want to create something and you want to like put something out there, you will have to have a deadline. And the deadline will actually force you to do it.
Okay, so that's a very honest answer. Thank you for that. And so one last question. As an author or even a poet, if you want your work to be published, how difficult it is in today's scenario?
It's not difficult at all because you can self-publish in literally 10 minutes.
Yeah, but to gain success out of that.
No, for that you need an audience, you need people who will buy your work, you need a PR team, you need to market yourself very well, and you need connections, you need a lot of things for that. That's a whole other subject. Writing and publishing is easy, and self-publishing will only take you like to a certain point. After that, to make your books reach Crossword or Bahari Sons or these offline bookstores, you need a traditional publisher, and for them to accept you, you need literary prose. You need to write something that actually stands out. Plus, you need to be selling. So it's a lot more than just writing.
Yes, sir. So thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you. It was lovely
so
talking to you
much.
too.
Till then, stay tuned with video journalist Diksha Tanukeshri, AAFT 24/7.